Unreal Life looks like it, but I'm not seeing you there. So, as usual, I'll wait just a minute and I'll make an operation before starting right away. Yes, operation done. I still don't see you, but I will begin. Yes, you will catch up when you arrive. Thank you very much for having your interest in these transmissions, in these live broadcasts. Today we are going to talk about how to deal with evil, how to consider the dark side of life onto ourselves, onto our paths, into everything that we came across with. That's the issue, that's the invitation I make here, and that's the thing that will have our attention for the following minutes. So, as usual, I will take every comment, every suggestion that you may make, and we will bring those into the table in order to make this transmission the very best possible, in order to serve your needs. So please bring forth all that you may have, and we will make it so. So, no more delays. Let's begin. Dealing with evil. First and foremost, what is evil? How do we define evil? Do we bring some time and awareness and thoughts and reflections around the subject of evil? What is evil? Well, nobody likes to feel prejudiced, blocked, in a bad spot in any way. Nobody likes it. We all prefer the beautiful, the shining, light, enlightened ways of having that in our experience, in our life experience. But we know that we tend to get in one way or the other in front of evil, in bad things, in some sort of sense. So, what is evil? Some people believe that, oh, this is evil, this is bad because it doesn't suit me, I don't like it doesn't give me pleasure, or oh, this is bad because it made me lost something, because it made me feel bad, or because it is an obstacle, a prejudice towards my own interests, my goals, my way of being, my path. But is evil defined in strict sense? Or is evil something that can be unstable in our ways of dealing with the notion in and by itself? Is it a set in stone notion? Well, I do believe not. In my perspective, evil is a way of understanding certain processes that are not desired by us humans in one way or the other, in some stage or phase or path or position or whatever expression we may have into our lives, and we are not finding it useful or desired or pleasurable. So in my understanding is mostly connected with the ancient wisdom understanding of evil. Evil is mostly something that doesn't fit into a pattern of useful application or result into our lives in the individual sense. In the overall picture, we can see evil as some sort of chaotic residual that arises when good is not being fully considered or beyond our own ability as humans to make proper use of everything that comes into our way, no matter what type of way that may be. So, in the broader scheme of reality, we can consider good and we can consider evil, and then we may consider a greater good that is beyond good and evil, in particular in individual terms, which is, by the way, the terms that we tend to consider good and evil. But how can we have a set in stone definition of what good and evil is? We can't. So, in my perspective, the very best way of dealing with evil is considering it as a force that can create a greater good if we know how to deal with it. Because you can't avoid some apparent evils. We can't avoid losing a job, losing a loved one, for death or for separation. We can't avoid feeling pain, physical pain sometimes. Maybe we can't avoid getting sick. Now, this is the fear that holds many of us in this COVID-19 situation. Oh my God, am I going to get sick? Oh my God, am I going to suffer? Oh my God, am I going to die? Oh my God, what may happen after? Or if not, how can I get some income? How can I find peace in being with the people I like? Can I have the people I like present in my life or not? What is happening? We can't control how life flows. Things come and go. And what is evil in that sense? Is it loss? I don't think so. I think evil is one of the polarities of life. Yes. And I believe evil mostly is due to lack of something that is greater than us humans. The lack of love, the lack of wisdom, the lack of understanding, the lack of compassion, the lack of awareness, the lack of proficiency in being the very best we can be, the lack of disposition to go the extra mile in making ourselves the very best contribution that the world needs us to make at a given time. Those are residual definitions of evil, because it's evil in the spiritual sense of it is an illusion, and so as an illusion, it's what remains when the good is taken outside of equation, when the greater good is not being considered in the sense of understanding how can we make the life forces, the polarities that bring us into being onto full and useful application. Yes, how can I make the death of a loved one a greater good? That's a hard one. How can I make sense of atrocities going on with children, with older people, with the many things that don't even worth mentioning about, but those exist in our world? How can we make greater goods of those? That's the question. And answering in purposeful terms, I believe first and foremost we strive for what we feel is right, what we feel is our birthright, to be the fullest expression of ourselves, to create it ever more enriched, enlivened, truthful, developed expression of ourselves, going ever more into that dance of seeking, finding, and creating, uniting the seek and the create side in order to make infinite game playing onto the very best of ourselves, no matter what area of life that may be. That's how we win the game, in my perspective. That's how we win the game. Having said it, let's make all the other things in order to go forth. What do I need to make in order to go forth with my life? Well, is it to face a loss of a loved one? Understand those? What really is it to understand what is missing in my life in order to go full force making myself useful? What really is it putting cards on the table and being very upfront with people that are making my life preventing my way in an unfair way? Should I confront them and speaking my truth with equilibrium, with fairness, with balance, but very direct terms, very even blunt terms if needed? May I have that full force expression of myself in order to clear the clouds? What is? Only us can tell. Only us can tell. The basis for making the right call in the moment, in my perspective, is centering, first and foremost, centering mindfulness, awareness, presence onto life is the founding stone of the greater good. The founding stone that unites, reunites, ignites, and balances all that is the very best needed to be made in every single moment. Unleashes understanding, unleashes knowledge, unleashes the right paths to progress those, unleashes collaborative efforts from us towards others and the other way around, unleashes hidden powers, dispositions, perceptions, points of view, worldviews. Yes, doesn't have to be a grandiose type of thing, although it can be. It can be very simple as, okay, I'm having an argument with my dear companion. Should I stop now and leave my ego bruised, and when the waters cool down, may I reflect and then go forward again, trying to make things clearer and lovelier? What is it? Only you can tell. Only you can decide. But the founding stone for me is really centered awareness. Centered awareness that knows how to reunite light and dark, day and night, positive and negative, masculine, feminine, all the polarities of life, they are reunited within that centeredness. That's why I really recommend and start by finding it into my own life, seeking permanent, idealistic for sure. Permanent is very difficult, but that's the goal. Seeking permanent awareness into the present moment, no matter what activity, what reality, what perception of it I may have. Going full, full into life with the fullness that I am, without waiting for a bad thing or a good thing to happen in order to open my eyes. Of course, if challenges are arising, that's a great invitation. If bad things are happening, if evil is making his appearance into the stage, that's the moment when the warriors of light must make a firm stance into the awareness of the now and letting the all there is flow into our activities, our behaviors. Keep ourselves in the proper temperature, not falling into aroused emotions beyond centeredness. We can have fire burning, but a centered fire, not chaotic. Getting ourselves together, putting ourselves together, and the very best ways of putting those into enrooted existence into our own being is by repeated, deliberate practice every single moment, no matter how easy, no matter how hard, no matter the conditions, if it rains or if sunshine, doesn't matter. Every single day, the practice of being here and now, the practice of living, all the rest go forth into that. And of course, for sure, the purpose-driven awareness of what is the needed expression, creative expression that truly reflects the very best of my will. Not just for me, not just for my own interest, but for the interest, for the goodness of all the people. Because, my dear friends, it will be ever more clearer that your interest, my interest, whatever personal, private interest that may be, it will all come into good, highest good fruition if it really is for the interest of us all. So, please bring your questions if you need, but the main thing is, evil is a subproduct, is a residual of not taking full advantage of the all-pervasive love, awareness, all-around virtue that this universe is. We as humans are limited, so we should forgive ourselves for that, of course, for sure. But at the same time, dance with the paradox of taking charge of things like we can take charge, take responsibility of making the right choices. Yes, bad is relative. Yeah, but if someone threats the life of my son, oh my God, God protect, because I am a warrior and I will not hide myself in order to make myself present and in order to make myself a very clear choice to protect that life expression that I hold very dear. And I can bring many other examples. Now I see your question, Julieta, or comment. I became good at removing myself from the scenarios where people start losing their ground patience. Like Tom from Tom and Jerry walking in sleeping socks out of the scene. Yes, very nice decision. Very practical decision, Julieta. Well, it is really the preferred stance that we can all acknowledge that it's needed. Yes, for sure. We should. Anytime that someone tries to make ourselves, to pick ourselves, to troll us in a sense, that's mostly in the social networks spaces and the internet, and not so because if you think being in a store or in a public space or dealing with clients in some sense, we can get picked, we can get, yeah, and yes, that happens sometimes. And sometimes we can avoid it, and sometimes we don't. We are trapped in the sense of facing the situation, but we can make another jiu-jitsu type of movement. We can make some humor, or we can bring some argument that is more soft, and we can have all sorts of perspectives. I can share a story from some hours ago. Some hours ago, I went to a walk. I went outside to a walk, and I have a golf course near this place. That this is a very humble place in Lisboa, but is a golf course. It's near, so I'm not living in a palace or stuff like that. But I went there, and then I've seen the golf course with a door wide open, a very big door wide open, and I haven't gone there, so I've decided, oh yeah, let's go there. And then I went into the golf course, and then I walked very calmly, watched the golf course. Oh, this is nice. They have 3 lakes. Oh, that's very nice. And so I went like a tourist, walking and strolling around. And then a guy came to me with some sort of. And he said something. I've removed my headphones. I had them. Oh, you shouldn't be here. This is a private place, he said to me. Oh, I've seen the door open, and I went. And he said, but this is private. You see the. Oh, you're totally sorry. I'm very sorry for trespassing. And I looked him right in the eye with a smile in my face. I was at ease, no problem. And then suddenly his attitude changed completely. He started laughing at me also. And he pointed, no problem, be at ease, no problem. So the thing changed, like I was a burglar, not a burglar, but I was invading private property. In a split of a second, I was felt like some sort of welcomed guest. And then I went, of course, I went outside. I take my stroll in other direction, but it was like in split of a second change. Lucky me, of course. Not every people react in these terms, but I believe it was something about the attitude that I was and the state that I was in. I was in a good state at that moment. I was enjoying it. I was getting my sunshine into my skin. I was liking the strolling thing. It was very nice. Now I'm seeing your comment, Julieta. I think no matter the conflict, it's us against the problem, not our egos against each other. Your example with your son is a classic. Even with a stranger, I cannot be indifferent to threats, violence, and disrespect, despite being fully able to deal with the situation or not. It's stronger than I. Okay, let's make it two pieces of the comment. First one, for sure, as against the problem, I would frame it in us with the problem. In reality, we can. I know this is very spiritual type of cliche, but I think it works. Trying to see the situation as a situation and not a problem. Like I'm seeing the guy onto the golf course coming at me and saying, "Oh, this is private property. You can't be here." And I looking at him. This is a situation. It is right. I'm in private property, yes, and I'm not a member of the golf club. So And yes, he is right, because he used another argument that a ball that can be dangerous if it hits me in the head. And I said, "Oh, you're right. Yes, I didn't. Oh, I'm just going. Sorry for. I didn't say I did. Sorry for trespassing." And then he went changed completely, because in fact, I may have removed a relief from him, because he was expecting some negative reaction from my part, and I didn't give it. So he felt relieved, because oh, he take it in the lighter terms. So oh, thank you for doing so, because he had the reason on his side. I really went into the gate. I know that was private property, but I believe I in my head I'll deal with it. If they find me, I'll deal with it. I'll go with just for checking this. I'll go after checking. So, and then you say the second example. Your example with your son is a classic. Yes, of course. I was bringing forth a type of situation that if arise, I may have found challenge in order to be more warrior type of reaction going forth. And like I remember a situation when that happened. Yes, I remember going to a park with my son. Yes, to play some soccer and to walking in his little bicycle, and we are having fun. And he had bring the telecommander type car. I've forgotten the specific term, and uh, and I see your comment. Yes, yes. I just speak in English. Next time I'll speak in English to him. And I was at the park, and then a fellow came toward me and my son, and he started playing with the kid, but in not so positive terms. And he started poking in negative fashion with my kid, making some remarks. Oh, I'm going to steal your car. You don't give me your car, I'm going to steal it. Oh, if you make too much noise, I'll bring the cops for arresting you. And that went on some seconds, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And then I intervened. I said, excuse me, my dear sir, I don't like the way you are talking with my son. I know you are making it probably with the very best of intents, but I don't like it, and the kid is not feeling comfortable with that type of behavior. So please stop. And then I looked at my kid, and because he's getting frightened, and then I've put it to his level. Maybe he's 5, and I have told you, don't worry, Rafael. I'm here with you. The gentleman is not going to say any more bad things to you. If so, we can walk away. Don't worry, and your father will protect you at all times. And I feel he's relieved after hearing me saying that and feeling my energy and my vibe, because I was putting myself up front, because I let the thing escalate a bit, just to see how can I deal with it in a way that is effective. And then I went directly cutting the guy. So, and then some moments after, he said, "Oh, that gentleman, my kid, for me. Oh, that gentleman was being stupid, wasn't it, Dad?" And I didn't say yes or not, because I want my kid to respect other people, especially elder people. And I said, I don't know, Rafael. Maybe he's just sad. Maybe we don't know. Maybe he didn't sleep well, or he's sad because he's not with his grandkids, because he's older than us. We don't know, kid. Let's forget it. The only thing that matters is that you are safe and protected. But please be nice, and please be gentle with other people. please treat people with respect. That he was joking. The gentleman was joking. He doesn't know better, so let's not make a big deal out of it. And okay, he forgot the situation and he went. And it was a very nice scene in order to convey some values, I believe. I was lucky because I had a nice reaction. Well, the thing is, I tend to be lucky sometimes with these type of interactions. I don't tend to react harshly, but we never know. We never know. I don't know what may happen in some harsher type of context. If some more forceful intervention is needed, well, I'm available because I'm a human being, as we all are. I will not put it aside. In fact, if some extreme circumstances arise, I do pray for God to give me that ability. Yes, but of course, the main is let's hope not. Let's hope not. Not for me, not for you, not and for every single person. Let's hope. We must understand ever more how to deal with life frictions, no matter great or small, in the very loving and effective way possible. And yes, we can get inspiration, very good inspiration, from people that walked on this earth, that made really great examples of it, and we can think and look for them in biographies. There are many examples, like non-violent resistance from Martin Luther King, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, like many other examples from religion and civic and even political times. People who sacrificed their lives in order for others to live. The martyrs, or the saints, or the prophets, or it all depends, because we can see those people living right here, right now. We can acknowledge those people, and they can even be our neighbors. Who knows? They can be simple people, not to be put in books and fame and spotlight type of scene. Yes, and why not? Why not to be inspired by acts of kindness, of compassion, of gentleness, in the positive sense of it? Yes, and why not to be trying to be ever more a warrior of love, a warrior of peace, a warrior of kindness. And warrior is not weakness. Warrior is warrior. Warrior is making the very best possible to keep the true values, principles, virtues that matter in life flowing from us, finding us as channels available for them to go forth. And of course, having bravery and having strength and having fortitude, internal fortitude, resistance, resilience, working on those every single day in order for the goodness of our nature come forth. Because in each and every single one of us, for a child, the inner child to live, we should have a warrior. We should have a king, a queen, a sage, and many other archetypes and roles ready to protect and to preserve, to nurture that inner precious child that lives, no matter how strong it may be. In some people it's more strong, in some people not so strong, but it can be nurtured again in order to grow ever more, to bring the creativity, the possibilities, the hope, the joy, enthusiasm, the sheer creative power onto being that comes in very primordial terms, using the archetypes language, it comes from the inner child. Yes. So, my dear friends, fellows, human fellows, people, please, if you don't have any more questions, today we are done for this. Good, evil, greater good. This is our triangle to consider. And of course, I will finish with the cliche type of perspective around goodness and evil, which is, oh, if God exists, why doesn't he stop all the madness in this world? Why are children killed and worse than killed? Why are so much injustice? Why are so much poverty, wars, crime? Well, this is the type of question of people who really don't get what God is, maybe, in my perspective at least. My perspective, God is not like a guy, a beard guy, a white beard guy, sitting on a throne, sending some flashes down here and say, oh, this is that. That is a childish version of God. God is not that. God is a all-pervasive principle that exists in all there is, and that we have it in us. Are we going to put responsibility in God to deal with the things that we humans are responsible? Are we put the blame onto God for the society that we have created in one way or the other? We created and we participated in it? Or are we going to face our own power to make things better? Step by step by step, stone by stone by stone, brick by brick by brick. Are we going to find ourselves room into our own will to go for ever more fullness of understanding and wisdom and love onto ourselves in order to make things better? How can we get a fuller picture of life, of society, of human nature, of all the things that matter to us, that make a spark into our deep sense of fulfillment, that burns into our hearts, into our souls, that make our spirits go forth in hope, in enthusiasm? Will it have its space? I hope so. Please, my dear friends, feel free to send me a message or an email to julio@juliobarroco.com. If anything I can do for you, I will do it, so please say so. Take good care. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk about setting the purpose stage. Setting the purpose stage will be the thing we are going to talk tomorrow. See you there.